It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Okay, I be the Black Avenger, more greater than Alexander. Number one contender, more money in my agenda. Be the king of my castle, enjoying all of the splendor. Yo, shout it, saw me on Tinder, she might be gone to November. That's my old life, Chick-fil-A waffle fries on my bull bites. Creeping through the street, shit, I'm finna have me a whole wife. Niggas still searching, I'm ghosting ladies like poltergeist. And got they smell up off me like Old Spice, you know I'm right. Hey, that's a damn shame. I don't be rocking name brands, I'm a brand name. That's how the cash came. I put some money on myself and made a bet. Had my bills stuck in jeopardy like a Malik Trebek. I put my life in these 16s. On Wesley Chapel like the 16. Everything clean, shining on pristine. But try to play me my sick team. Got them for greens, digging for that gold like 3 kings, my nigga. Give me room, give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Wait, give me room, give me space. When I walk into the place, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. Eyes on straight, keep your eyes on straight. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening. In this video, we're going to be getting into Rory and Mal as their new episode has been released where they're reacting to, of course, the dismissal of Drake's lawsuit against UMG, in which he was basically trying to say that Kendrick Lamar defamed him in Not Like Us, and of course, UMG were promoting this defamation, right? The court saw to it that that needed to be tossed, that there was no defamation, it was non-actionable opinion, and that Drake partook in a rap battle in which they hurled insults at each other. Things that we already know, right? Things that we had already deduced from the jump. Before Drake even thought about filing a lawsuit or filing any sort of petition to the courts or anything, we already knew what it was, right? Unfortunately for Rory and Mal, for whatever reason, they've held on to hope that Drake's lawsuit was going to hold up in court and that it was going to be one of the biggest business battles ever seen in the music industry, and that Drake on the other side of it was going to have one of the biggest settlements or payouts ever seen in music history, which turned out to be on the contrary. Now, although many of us are not fans of the Rory and Mal podcast necessarily, don't really care for their takes, this has been a highly anticipated episode just to see what lengths they would go to in defense of Drake, or if they would go ahead and concede that this thing was bullshit the entire time. And now we have our answer, okay? So on one hand, we have Rory, who is completely confused, right? He said he thought that this was a defamation case, and being that the judge tossed it and said that there was no defamation, he is now questioning the very words that he thought he read in the paperwork. I find that to be very interesting because once the first round of paperwork actually hit the net, he was one of the first people to come out and speak on it and say that he believed that botting was happening, and he also believed that there was some credence to Drake's lawsuit because he read it. Now he's wondering what he was reading the whole time. Which, honestly, I'm with you, Rory. What the fuck were you reading? And then we have Mal on the other side, who is still confident as ever that Drake is going to be able to appeal the decision and that it may be brought forth to another judge who can properly evaluate this, the weight and the depth that he believes resides within Drake's claims. He believes that Drake still has undisclosed information that would make his case even stronger. My question to him is, why hasn't it been presented? He's been poking and prodding at UMG since November of last year. He was threatening to sue since July of last year. So why is it that he had no verifiable proof that he gave to the judge in that time? Those are questions that I don't have the answers to, nor does Mal, but I'm going to go ahead and play their reaction to this situation.
Crazy. But it was funny. It's funny to see people's reaction. And again, people still not understanding what the case was about.
I, as someone that thought I understood it, now I actually don't. Like, because I know he was, from my understanding, initially suing for UMG promoting, pushing, and using bots about a song that was defaming him. Mm-hmm. Then the result was, all right, the case is dismissed because there's no defamation. I didn't even think he was suing for that. Mm-hmm. So now I'm just lost. So that's why I say you guys.
How did you not know he was suing for defamation when that was the main piece of the entire thing? There's thousands of videos for the last 10 months minimum that this was a defamation case. The bots and all that stuff that y'all were clinging on to was only an add-on. That was his third claim based on New York general business law or some shit, which didn't hold up either. But how did you not know that when that was the meat and potatoes of the lawsuit? How did you? Come on now. What?
Win, K-Dot, K-Bot, the whole world, y'all win. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
K-Dot, K-Bot.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Clearly, the paperwork that I initially read is not even where the case ended up. Because I thought he was suing UMG for them promoting a song that defamed him.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have to prove defamation in order for the label to be promoting a song that defames him. Let's use it.
Because when I agreed with the judge, because I initially came in here when you and I would argue, where I'd be like, do you really think anybody actually sits and thinks that Drake is a fucking pedophile? It's just a battle. Like, no one is really walking around thinking that. I agreed with what the judge said. Like, this is just a battle back. No one really thinks that. But I didn't think that was the lawsuit. Mm-hmm. I thought it was illegally promoting outside of the industry standard a song that was defaming him. Mm-hmm. And now how the judge made it sound.
That's not what it is. That was a part of it, which the judge said, you don't even have proof of that. All you have are internet screenshots from comments on Twitter and YouTube of people basically saying, oh, this makes Drake look bad. He's being called a PDF. People are going to believe it. This was the most elementary lawsuit I've probably ever seen.
Like, all right, yeah, he said mean things about you, but you said mean things too.
What was the words? Non-actionable. What was
but I agree with what the judge said. Like I said, wrap that. I just didn't.
I'm going to pause this for a second because I want to show y'all the clip of Rory when this first hit the net back in November of last year.
I also think both of them have used bots. I have no dog in this fight. I like Kendrick's music. I like Drake's music. I also think both of them have used bots via UMG, whether they knew it or not. What stood out to me in that paperwork was the accusation that UMG lowered their licensing rate by 30% for Not Like Us. Just a quick history lesson. How we even got to the value of what a stream is was based off Spotify and the three majors negotiating on what that value would be. What makes it even crazier is all three majors have actual stock and ownership within Spotify. That would be illegal in any other business in the world, but it's a music industry, so anything can fly. To the point that I worked at a major when Spotify went public, and they emailed all of us as employees and said, you cannot buy stock because that would be insider trading. Now imagine you're an artist and you know that the people that own your music plus the people that distribute your music, which is a whole separate tech company, are in cahoots to define what a dollar means within the music industry. And then you later find out that for one artist and one song, they devalued that dollar. You wouldn't have an issue with it?
So as you can see, Rory completely was wrong from the outset, right? When the first petition, and I think that's relating to the first petition that was filed, was, Drake was poking around with iHeartRadio, iHeartMedia to see if there were any side deals cut to further promote Not Like Us, if there was any under the table money given outside of the approved methods of promoting music via radio. He also did the same thing with Spotify. He was trying to see if they had cut a side deal to basically cut down Kendrick Lamar or UMG's cut of the royalties to incentivize Spotify to promote the song heavier. Therefore, they would make more money off of the music, off of Not Like Us, because allegedly they believed that UMG was going to let Spotify keep an extra 30%. When they were putting that narrative out there, I said, yo, that sounds like discovery mode to me, which is not illegal. That's something that's available to a lot of artists. I've actually utilized the discovery mode feature on Spotify just to see if it even works or if it's even worth using, which in my case, I felt like it wasn't. But if you're an artist out there and you've tried it, be my guest to let me know if you felt like it helped you in any way that you weren't seeing before. So I just wanted to show proof of Rory's thoughts initially versus Rory's thoughts now. He's always been in another space with this thing. But once defamation was introduced, that was the bulk of the entire argument, was that Drake was losing money because people believed he was a PDF because of this song. So as you can see, this is a college-educated person here, completely lost in the sauce, while reading the information nonetheless.
I think that was what the case was.
No, that was the lawsuit. The main thing in the case was the defamation and the false statements. That's why there were things brought up in the lawsuit about like how it affected like Drake's family. Like that's why, shit like that. It's a defamation lawsuit. But if you can't, whether they were on top of falsely or amplifying the defamation, it was mainly about defamation. But if you can't prove the defamation, then the amplifying of it doesn't mean anything.
And additionally, if y'all can remember, it was just about a month or so ago that Rory came to the people on this very podcast, sat in that very seat with a laptop sitting in front of him, where he said that there is a looming radio RICO about to happen that's going to blow the music industry out of its socks. Y'all remember that? We covered it right here on this channel. And he said that he was privileged enough to actually see the paperwork. And he said he saw names of people in the music industry that are going to blow us away. Now, I find it very interesting that he couldn't comprehend what he was reading when it came to Drake's lawsuit. But now he has the comprehension to tell us about the radio RICO that still has not come forth. But somehow he's either a paralegal or he's working in bed with somebody who's sending this up to the federal government. I'll digress.
Fair.
So that's where.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I also want to give flowers to the OVO stands for sure. Because the way they flipped it, I thought the K-Bots were going to be the ones that were going to be fucking celebrating. Drake may have some of the most positive fans I've ever seen in my life. They say, yo, y'all didn't even understand Drake's angle. The judge just proved that he's not a pedophile. That was his case the whole time. I said, all right, man.
Wait, what?
I can't.
They said the fact that the judge dismissed it means the judge is like, you're not a pedophile, so there's no defamation here. And they were like, well, that was his plan the whole time.
Oh, no.
That's stupid because
the case?
The defamation would be if...
I'm not saying this is logic.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what I was reading. I'm just telling you what I was reading.
Makes no sense.
But yes, I had a bunch of people hit me of all right, what y'all gonna do on the episode? I was like, I don't know what do you want from us? Do you want me to bow down and apologize?
But apologize for, I
Perhaps.
mean, I don't know what people are thinking because I haven't really talked to many people about this, but it's not. I mean, the people have to know that his lawyer, his team, they're going to appeal this and take this to another level.
Yeah, I mean, I
don't know if people know that. Like, this is
of
not.
course
This is not over with. Like,
I mean, shit, the shitty. Should we just let it go?
no, see, no,
Like,
no,
at this point,
no. Why? But would you? If you and your team, your lawyers had things in your possession that prove what you're saying is correct.
but why wouldn't? And I'm not saying that it depends the judge, and that's why the appeal process exists.
It's a whole, yeah.
Didn't they reveal everything? Because that was also something I saw on the OVO stand side of like, nah, he purposely was trying to lose the first one so he could reveal more in the appeal. And I was like, well, why wouldn't he just?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Just give them.
I'm not speaking to shit. I'm speaking to factual shit, like real things. Like this is not over with. I know people hear things getting dismissed, but like there's a whole nother level that I believe this is getting ready to go to. I don't think this is over. It's definitely not over here.
Yeah, I mean, I see these.
What you mean definitely not over here? Well, you gotta you getting checks with the owl on it. You work for the staff. You over there at the sweatshop. What you mean over here? I don't know. That sounds strange to me. But my thing is, like, you're alluding to the fact that there's more, that there's gonna be more details to come, that it's not over, that there's gonna be something else. What else are we going to receive that we didn't? From the early onset of Drake's legal filings, petitions, whatever the fuck he wanted to call them, he claimed that he had literal testimony from employees that worked at UMG that could certify that there was wrongdoing towards Drake. And with all of the legal filings, we never got any declarations from any of those employees that could verify those statements. Why? Y'all were going through the discovery phase. You filed a complaint. You filed an amended complaint. And nowhere in any of these amended complaints or exhibits that you submitted to the judge, you didn't think that you should submit the declarations of the UMG employees that could verify your claims? Huh? Sound like you had none. Your entire lawsuit was on information and belief. Even the judge said it. You've been wasting my time. Everything here says upon information and belief, but you've not given me any actual information. And you think that Drake is holding on to something else that's going to get this decision overturned and reopened for another judge to sit before this? Where is the information? Because it's further beyond my belief than it was before.
Side of even people just being objective and aren't on this like weird fucking divider stand line of like, hey Drake, the more you do this, the more like you're adding more of like this mystique, and you're making Not Like Us the greatest battle record of all time the more you do things post the battle.
Streisand effect.
Like you're putting more allure to it. Like I'm sure Not Like Us, because of this announcement, made chart this week. Just because of the announcement. Like you're adding more allure to what this battle was with these moves. And the appeal is just going to continue that. But I also know that Drake doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
so I see both sides. Like
yeah, but that's the side that people see what you just said. A lot of people don't think or speak to that.
I know
like
he doesn't care.
When you don't care. Two, when you know what you know and you know what's going on, because none of us knows Drake's business with his label. We don't know his negotiation, what he was going through with the label at the time.
Even with the negotiation, because that was a part of his complaint. He didn't submit anything that actually would implicate how badly the negotiation process was going for him, right? Like, he submitted nothing to verify any of his claims. He didn't give, at bare minimum, email clippings of them offering him a bad deal. And I understand he wasn't going to put details of his record deal in the filing so that the people such as myself covering the case will be able to know specifics of his contract and what they're offering him. But nowhere in there did anyone see that he was being lowballed, which is not illegal anyway. Let's be fucking clear. A label offering you a less than ideal contract than what it is that you're looking for is not illegal. It's on you to accept it, decline it, or go elsewhere for further negotiations. But if there was some sort of nefarious activity going on with the negotiation that pertained to Not Like Us being the biggest song and somehow that correlated into devaluing you and it being deliberate, why didn't you have anything that could even stand as proof? All you brought was internet theories. You brought a clip from academics, which was retracted shortly after it went out. You had speculation from Joe Budden. And then you have a bunch of internet comments that just were talking. And then you got some girl, Monet Merchant, who we don't even know who the fuck she is. She comes in and she tries to say, well, I can verify that Drake's telling the truth because I've been covering this all along. Okay, join the club. What made you think you were supposed to give a word to the judge that nobody else could? Just because you've been covering it all along. And we don't even know where your coverage is outside of tweets. Talking about something, my name comes up when you search me on the AI index. Okay. Then you had people literally trying to say Monet Merchant was the motherfucking baby mama that was at the goddamn courthouse on some unrelated shit. I said, what the? Are we losing it? So yeah, I'm happy that this fucking case is closed, at least for the moment, hopefully for eternity, because this stuff has been introducing levels of thought that I have never been privy to in my life, and I wish I had never been introduced to it.
None of us know the specifics of that. But when you know, and your lawyers know exactly what happened and what went on, when you say just let it go, no, somebody of his caliber and his level is not going to just let that go. Because they know what we all do not know. They have information that none of us have.
Okay, but then I guess I would ask, if you're Drake, are you looking at, good lawyers lose cases. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But if you have all this stuff that we don't know, why did you go with that approach of the defamation lane? And the judge was clearly like, nah, this is a rap battle. No one actually believed this. You also said in one of the songs to call you a pedophile. Like, is this Drake's lawyers making a grave mistake in this entire thing? Like, even going in that approach of going the defamation route, because clearly the judge was like, this is a rap battle. This is not a negotiation for your deal with Universal.
I think that
they should have revealed the stuff that we don't know.
Yeah, the information that, like, people keep saying there's information that the general public doesn't know. Well, I would assume that if there's information that's pertinent to this ruling or the lawsuit, it should be in the paperwork, and we all have the paperwork. So that's why it's like, what is this magic 8-ball information?
Well, how many days ago did they ask?
My bad, y'all.
What, maybe 2 weeks ago? Maybe?
October 9th, 2024. Oh, no. Yeah. Let me see. Push for unredacted.
Because even like, watching
it wasn't that long ago.
You know, even not even the theories, but of the third party that they claimed was hired to bot Not Like Us, that worked with Universal and worked with apparently PG Lang.
Not to mention the discovery process had been started. We've been going through months of that. That's what the whole subpoenas and all that stuff was for, man. That's what the contract was for. What are you talking about?
Like, all of, like, where is all that stuff? Like, at this point now, it just feels like it's just like Twitter rumors. Because we knew that to be true, but that's not, like, Kendrick's not the only person to ever use a third party person to boost some shit. Like, every artist does. But none of that even, like, came up in the, I know they were trying to serve papers to that guy and, like, they couldn't find him, and I just feel like everything just fell apart, and the judge was just like, it's a rap battle, bro.
Yeah.
So this is not how I saw this going, because I thought there was way more information. I thought this was going to be like a 4-year long fucking trial.
He got partial discovery was granted around the end of June, top of August. Limited discovery on certain communications.
Limited discovery on certain communications. Yeah, so I don't believe that this is over. I don't believe that Drake and his team and his lawyers are letting this go. I do think that this is going to another level. And again, that speaks to him, his team having things, and again, we don't know the business side of it, what Universal did. We do know that he's a top priority at Universal. He is in the middle of renegotiation. I don't know where that stands today. I don't know if he's even contemplating, any type of negotiation with Universal, but I do know that Universal knows, or they know, the internet can say, oh yeah, I told you he lost it. Ask Universal if they think this is over. Like, just ask somebody at Universal if they think.
Now, who we gonna ask at Universal whether or not they think it's over, Mal? And who do you think we're privileged enough to know over there at Universal that's gonna give us an answer that says, no, I don't think it's over? Mal on the Rory and Mal podcast is absolutely correct. Although the judge has dismissed the case, I can foresee that it's going to be a lot more to be revealed from Drake, and that we're going to probably be in a bad predicament because, Mal said so. Come on, man.
That this case is over.
Well, I think Drake's lawyers have already talked about, like, obviously saying that we'll file an appeal. So
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So the blogs and content creators can react and make videos. Oh, all of y'all stupid, look stupid. Da, da, da. It's like, okay, I mean, but this is not over. Like, yes, this judge dismissed it and dismissed the case in that court, but this is now going to another level, and that only speaks to, again, what I'm looking at. He obviously knows something. His team knows something. He has great lawyers. You don't become the artist that he is without having the right people around you, the right people in your corner. And,
the right people in his corner was UMG.
It's a lot going on. But, it got dismissed in that court. But again, this is far from over. We haven't heard the last of this lawsuit with Drake versus UMG.
That's probably crazy. Oh shit. That was probably the only factual statement that we received from Mal, is that we haven't heard the last about this, right? Because apparently there is supposed to be an appeal. His legal team has already come out and said so. Now I have seen some people that are wondering whether or not the appeal is even a possibility. I saw some people that were saying that the dismissal was with prejudice, meaning that it can't be brought back up. But in the paperwork, I never saw such a statement that it was dismissed with prejudice. Okay. Now, I remember that UMG asked for it to be dismissed with prejudice. I understand that the dismissal was granted, but again, in the actual court order and opinion from the judge, it did not use dismissed with prejudice in the verbiage. So that is still out there. Also, it's not guaranteed that the Court of Appeals is going to accept his paperwork and say, yes, we need to revisit this, right? The appeal is, we're going to look at your request. We're going to look at what it is that you're submitting to us. We're going to see if it has legal merit that says we need to revisit it. Or they're going to say, get this shit out of here too. So nothing is guaranteed at this point. But I get it, man. Mal is cool with Drake. How cool he is with him, I don't know. But I guess they speak enough for him to feel confident. So he's not going to waver on his support because they still have that relationship. You know what I mean? I don't know where Rory stands with Drake in that relationship. It seems that he at least has some sensible thoughts here and there that peek through. They don't really make much of a difference on this podcast. But there's that. You know what I mean? Once again, this is something that people were waiting to see how they were going to react. We now have it. And I don't think any of this was unexpected. It's just unfortunate what's happened to this podcast. All right. But let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share the video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah, the glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts, every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I could do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I ran for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stacks I built. I had